Very crucial 2 points for Elevate, gained over 7th Heaven. Unfortunately, they're kind of struggling a little bit this season, the underdogs, but they do get 1 point out of it. Raven, we move ahead though. Invictus Gaming versus QConfirm, 2 teams that have had actually pretty good seasons so far.
They have. QConfirm in particular out on first place right now on this stage. On top of the fact that they are out in first place and undefeated, it is 3 clean wins, not overtime wins, 3 straight victories. So certainly going to be a tough opponent for Invictus Gaming today. And we've talked about their lineup significant amounts over the past few weeks. Stage 1, the focus was healthcare, but Stage 2, it's a much different story. They are gelling very solidly as a team, and in particular, Producer Boom and Lycolis have had also some pretty great stage play so far. QConfirm definitely a formidable roster to come up against.
It's very scary considering that healthcare just kind of sits in the lurch, right? He is not being called upon in terms of the way that we have seen him before on this roster. And I do believe that that is the scariest part. You know, like Lycolis has stepped up massively. We've talked to him pretty much every interview and he's got the biggest smile on his face. Really lovely guy. But he's an absolute beast in the server, you know? Producer Boom, I mean, he has just always been, I feel like he's been the right-hand man to this team for so long, you know, the second man that just absolutely demolishes and continues to do so alongside healthcare like Lycolis. But I think the big talking point came around the roster changes that we saw coming into this year, you know, Roldini kind of taking a step back, the fact that Dark has kind of re-entered and re-emerged into this roster. This is a new and improved team, and I think that they're showing it this season. They've made an incredible run so far, and to think that they could possibly be 4-0 at the end of tonight, it's kind of absurd.
Speaking of new and improved, we segue over to the opponents for this game. Invictus Gaming, new org, new aspirations, and now into the top 4, Raven. It's been a pretty good stage so far, but in a way it has. They've still actually had 2 overtime losses and only 1 regulation win. The good news is they haven't actually suffered a regulation loss yet at all. In fact, these are the only 2 teams yet to do so.
Yeah, look, that is definitely a step up from stage 1 in terms of Invictus, because they really did struggle. It was not a great stage for them at all. And look, they've been able to bounce back, and I think a lot of that, I mean, I hate to put it all on one person, but certainly Joe has been a welcome inclusion. I think he's been performing quite well so far and certainly had some impactful plays. So he's a good one to keep your eye out on. And on top of the fact they lost a big mainstay being Ysera, I think it is a very dramatic roster change for the team that they haven't really had to go through for quite a while. But I think they've adapted pretty reasonably, and I give them a shot to beat QConfirm, honestly, just based on some of their recent performances. I think they definitely have it in them to be able to take this map.
Yeah, they've shown us what they've really, what they're made of in the past 3 weeks, and I think much to all of our surprise on the back of, as you said, stage 1, this is a completely different roster in terms of how they're approaching the server and the results that they're getting out of it. The fact that they've gone, you know, overtime against Knights and Order, I think is a little bit unfortunate that they haven't been able to come away with more points than what they have. But the fact still remains, they're sitting 4th. Like, that is absolutely insane when we take a step back and have a look at the season in retrospect already. It's incredible that we're even at this point where Invictus, well, maybe they're not 4th right now. I think I'd have to go back and have a look at the stats. No, well, there you go. I think Elevate jumped over the top of them. But they have the opportunity to claim that back. And this could just be one of those games for Invictus, like we're just talking about with Elevate. This may just turn their entire season.
It very well could. I mean, 2nd place up for grabs for Invictus Gaming if they can get a win here. Not only that, but it's the ramifications as to then, if they can get 3 points here, that means QConfirm get none. So that really spices it up there. You'd have 9 points for 1st and 8 points for 2nd, and yeah, it all kind of trickles down. Let's go and have a look at the map vetoes for this matchup and see if we can get a new map in the pool. We do. It's Cafe Villa, just banned out at the end by Invictus Gaming. Something different at least, and again, not Consulate. That got taken out immediately. Bit of a running joke there, which I'm pretty sure is that Border? What? I think it might be on the Consulate image. Either way. I
think you're right.
You're so cursed. Why you're so cursed,
Look, Raven, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, let me take it from here, Xenox. No, look, I think Cafe is traditionally pretty decent map for QConfirm. Certainly a map they've played quite a lot of at a local level in the Thailand Operation League, I think it's called. Oh my gosh. But what I was going to bring up is the most recent history we have for Cafe for Invictus Gaming, which was with their old lineup granted, actually a 7-5 win over TSM at SI. So they are by no means a pushover in this map, and I think that would probably make me feel like this is giving Invictus Gaming their best chance to take a win over QConfirm tonight.
I'm just going to back you in there, Raven. I honestly don't really know how I feel about Cafe for Invictus, but if that's what you're gonna come out and make an outlandish claim like that, I don't really think I can refute that. Regardless of QConfirm's current form, I do think that if there's a team that could cause a bit of ruckus against them, Invictus is definitely that roster. So leaning into this matchup, I mean, I have gone for QConfirm here. I think that's more the storyline that I'm going for, right? The fact that we're seeing 3 games straight, maybe even a 4th, 12 points out of 4 games just absolutely sets you up for playoffs. That would confirm playoffs completely. I think the benchmark for a team to make playoffs last season was 11 points. So if QConfirm win this, they're 100% in playoffs, regardless of whether they win their last 3 games. So the stakes are massive for them, and I'm sure that they would know that.
Stakes are massive for both teams. Thank you, gentlemen, for breaking down this matchup. We now, unfortunately, do have to bid farewell to you two. We have to go and throw it over to the 2 other guys. Forgot their names. I don't know. They'll take it from here.
That's so toxic from Xenox, but oh well, I'll take it. It is what it is.
I think Xenox has more hairs on his chest that we can see on the broadcast at the moment than he does Twitter followers. So, I mean, does this man really know what's going on, or what?
I love it, I love it. But, of course, we do have a game. It is Invictus and QConfirm, 2 longtime rivals. And, yeah, well, Invictus sure to hopefully be cooking up a storm. Raven mentioned it. This was the map where they took down TSM, one of the finest teams from North America, at the 6th Invitational, but times have changed and QConfirm is on a tear. They have never done better at a regional level than 5th place. Here they are at the top of APAC South. Let's see if QConfirm can keep it up.
Cafe is the map. Need to see a bit of diversity here so far tonight, which has been fun to watch. Jump into the ban phase. QConfirm starting out of the defense means that they get first pickings here. Who are we going to see taken off the attack? Flores. Well, that's not too unexpected. Those Rotero drones are incredibly potent across basically all 7 of the competitive maps at the moment. So expect that ban rate to stay quite high here in APAC South and internationally as well. And that's actually going to be paired up here with the Thatcher from Invictus Gaming. That just made things a lot more difficult for the attack.
Certainly, and it's actually what we heard Specker talking about earlier today, right? Like Thatcher and Flores, at least in his mind, do fill in some ways a similar space in that they're great for denying utility. Flores in particular, on Cafe top floor, you just send those Rotero drones down the sky right light and you can destroy all of the bars that you'd like and any utility on that top floor. Like that one, my band though. So I guess kind of counteracting the lack of attack that can counter utility by getting rid of one of those defenders that is really good at protecting those bulletproof gadgets. And the Clash to round it off, I guess not much of a surprise that QConfirm would want to get rid of that one. Invictus have always been a team to embrace that.
Doesn't mean we won't see any shield player though in this matchup. Invictus could well on the attack bring out the Monty. That would be Luna to bring to the table. But so far that won't be the case. Instead, we are seeing quite an aggressive selection here from the attack. We're seeing the Lion brought out here from Luna. Hysterics on the cap as well. Mode 6 pick onto something else. Sledge a little bit more traditional there. Can bring 2 nades and that sledge hammer. Now it is a kitchen defense here from QConfirm. The operator selected by Invictus will assist greatly in taking map control, and I would expect that will be their approach.
Yeah, I do wonder whether the Capitao was intended for the top floor and then Invictus read into the fact that this is a basement defense, judging by the operator selection. I'm not sure. Because if it does come to that top floor, I would love to see Capitao, especially with my band. There's nothing that the defenders can bring that would counter that utility. I guess you could say the Aruni Gates, but very unlikely that, that the Aruni Gates would actually be in positions that would be denying where the Capitao would want to chuck his firebolts or his smoke bolts. So let's have a look at how QConfirm start to defend this. For the most part,
pretty much a turtle on site, it seems. They could have a bit of a loose roam going for them. And it looks like they're setting up for at least some ground floor roam presence. Perhaps going for some C4s as well, thanks to that dark cam that we see from Healthcare underneath the train.
Now, Invictus have spawned over to the western side if they wanted to try and take Big Bakery. I mean, that is a possibility. They could combine that with front door, take coat check, etc. Transfer their pressure over across towards the objective, but instead, as I thought they would, they'll head to the top. They'll open up Red Hatch, as is typical here on Cafe, and then begin their top-down version, I guess, traversing of the map. Not sure how many defenders that they will need to clearly haven't quite spotted how many from QConfirm are off site. But early indications suggested that it wasn't overly aggressive, and yeah, there you go, 4 on site, and I believe Dark was over towards the red stairs on the first floor. Actually, no, sorry, there's all 5 on site. I'm completely blind. So yeah, there you go. It should be a pretty quick roam clear here for Invictus.
Yeah, that said, it can be quite difficult to convert these vertical picks sometimes, especially when we've got these C4s on the table. We've got 2 for QC. Now, if they got much info to make work, let's have a look. Supreme already pre-placed his first. There's another C4 taken down elsewhere. Hysteric's definitely going to be the linchpin of this with the sledge.
Halfway through the round, Hysterics getting to work, creating a long line of sight. Now, I can faintly hear a pre-placed nitro cell, I think, on that train floor, unless my ears have been a bit weird, which could also be the case. I don't have the best hearing ever, but definitely hear something. Either way, though, that's something Invictus will need to be mindful of, and I would assume Producer Beam that has pre-placed it, maybe even Healthcare with the assistance of some intel above. That could make things a little bit spicy. And talk about spice, Speak Easy gets the first. That's Hajime taken down on the Aruni.
Oh, there's a second one as well. Speak Easy has been cleaning house. In APAC South, he's been really, really on fire. The easy MVP of one of the earlier Playdays. But Dark's just made a flank look really good here with 2 kills. Punished, though, by Jordan. Leaving us in a 3 versus 2. Healthcare on site does put Speakeasy's rampage to an end now. And 2 versus 2. Make that a 2v1 now with Jordan going down. Luna desperately trying to pick up the pieces. But Guz, I think it's too far gone for Invictus. I think QConfirm have got it. And a strong opening round from the tie gets them on the board.
Good start there from QConfirm. Not afraid to get in the face of their opponents. And Invictus, despite, again, having a little bit of a slow start to Stage 1, Stage 2, not quite going the way they would have liked so far as well. They are still such a great team. You think back to last year, they were dominating APAC North. You think about SI, you know, maybe not the best result, but hey, they weren't completely pushed over. They took down TSM on this map. So they have some pedigree. They can definitely bring the goods on the day when they require it. Need to be able to connect those dots. So, like I said, a good start for QConfirm, putting that best foot forward. They are currently the top team in APAC South, and they look to just continue to prove that. And look, I don't think they really, at this point, need to prove themselves anymore. They've put up a really good fight in the first half of Stage 2, but it's all about keeping that momentum rolling, just continuing to amount points, amass as many as you possibly can, week in, week out, and not allow those teams in that mid-table to catch up.
Yeah, look, I think that QConfirm have earned a lot of praise in Stage 2, but I'm always going to be skeptical until we see this be more than just 3 or 4 games. Like, yes, they are currently flawless in Apex South, but that's just 3 matches. And yes, it was some pretty big scalps that they've taken so far, but I want to see this consistency. I'm rooting for them, but I just don't want to get ahead of myself. If you look back in QConfirm's history, right? Last year, they were in APAC North in Stage 1. They ended at 8th place. In Stage 2 at 7th place. Coming into 2021 APAC South, Stage 1, 5th place. Failed to qualify for playoffs. They also played through the 6 Invitational, managed to get through open quals, but fell short in the closed quals. Again, not breaking past 5th place. And that seems to be the monkey on the back for QConfirm. They can't ever break into top 4. at an APAC or at a regional level. And so far, if they retaining #1 spot in APAC South would be so much for them, right? Like, what #1 in APAC South means you're immediately top 2 in APAC, you immediately get the invite to that Mexico major, and it would be the best that we've ever seen from QC. So I want to root for them, but I'm just not convinced as of yet.
Well, let's see what they can muster up in round number 2. It's been a pretty stock standard round so far. No damage inflicted and not too much utility dealt with here so far by Invictus. Instead, establishing control on the rappels, popping the 2 main hatches on the roof and beginning to think about how they're going to progress forward. With Mirror available and not banned out, Producer Boom has placed them right in the face of the attack. It's going to be tricky for QConfirm, rather for Invictus, to clear out those positions. That position inside of Bathroom being one that is fortified. A couple of ADS devices here that Dark has placed for himself to support that position. Invictus, however, have gained control of shop and are slowly progressing forward, but it is slow at that.
Yeah, that is definitely the word that comes to mind here for Invictus, slow. And yeah, there's quite a setup to deal with. They just have to figure out what their process is going to be to do so. And firstly, let's look at this mirror at bar. Like, that is really, really powerful, right? You have a couple of options. Firstly, the most obvious one, I think, for many players would be to go downstairs and destroy it through the floor. But we've got roamers down there. That said, Lycolis is one of those roamers, and he's the first victim. He's also currently the MVP of APAC South League at Stage 2 so far. So having him off the board is a massive boon for Invictus.
Big work with the frag grenade there from Invictus. Takes that mute jammer away and forces Producer Boom back. Meanwhile, Jordan thinks about the plant but does fall off. Instead, finds the pick. If you can't get the plant down, go for kills. Producer Boom, though, eventually shuts him down as he goes deep. Hajime cut off, trying to take back site control. And now QConfirm well and truly on the back foot. It's healthcare down below.
On for a retake up White. Going to be very difficult for players to find. And Asterix peeks him. What a round from Invictus. Very slow and steady, but you just know they were planning their execute down to a T. And well, once that first entry was found, Invictus wasted absolutely no time. Hysterix got the opening kill on the back of that. Invictus switched on Excaris to deal with that mirror window. Nades flying forth, and Jordan starting to force down a plant before baiting it and finding kills instead. This is a well-oiled machine here for Invictus, and once they spring into action, it is just like a perfectly choreographed dance.
Yep, some good signs there from Invictus, and for me, the real linchpin for them being able to win that round was that really good grenade that was sent in towards Cocktail. It cleared that mute jammer, and immediately, I mean immediately, the X-Kairos are already being detonated, so it was very well communicated there by Invictus. It forced Producer Boom back, and unfortunately from there, QConfirm falling apart a little bit. Invictus getting quite aggressive, going quite deep. I mean, maybe they could have paid the price had QConfirm being a little bit sharper with their shots, but Invictus, with that initiative, were on the front foot. They caught the defense off guard, and that's what you want to be doing as an attacker. You don't want to be the one being caught off guard. That's your job on the attack. You already have the clock pressuring you. Get your best foot forward, find a couple of picks, open up the round and convert it. And that's exactly what Invictus are able to manage.
It's certainly a strong start, but QConfirm aren't going to waste any time. They're not going to dwell on the past mistakes, and I don't blame them for changing the site here, going for reading instead. In particular, because as you mentioned, like, Invictus was so good at dealing with the setup from QConfirm. I think you pointed out like the nade that cleared the mute jammer and then the X-Kairos to counter the mirror. That is just pristine. I love that. That is really well thought out. That's the kind of thing that wouldn't occur to every team, and even if it would maybe occur to one of the players on the team as a strat of dealing with that that problem, that setup, it wouldn't necessarily be something that the team could communicate effectively within time. So massive credit to Invictus. I don't blame QConfirm for not wanting to deal with that just yet. Instead, they're going to do a little bit more of a loose roam to try and contest the reading side, but it's difficult when you've got the Lion's Roar to lock you in place.
A bomb has been located.
Risky position here from Lycolis. Skylight. 3rd floor. Now he could find a pick or two, but needs to be mindful. Doesn't get shut down here for free. I don't know if Invictus have intel. Oh, yeah, they do. Joe finds the pick, and now it's a 5-on-4. There is still a player above here from QConfirm. That's Dark. at the top of White Stairs, looking to try and bleed a little bit more time here from Invictus. Find a couple more drones. They already have found 4 this round. Producer Boom is aiding down below the heartbeat sensor, spotting these players out in healthcare as well, being fed that information. So, I mean, they did drop a player, but QConfirm not looking terrible.
Lycolis once again being the first to fall
no.
is concerning for me. That C4 was a nice idea, but very wide of the mark. Jordan's also found healthcare, furthering this man advantage. And another one as well. My God, this is the Invictus show through and through so far. Healthcare is taken down as well, and Producer Boom with the shotgun can find one traded back, and now it's just Hajime 1-on-4 once again for QC, and Hysterics wastes no time at all going for this. This is a completely different Invictus to what we have seen in the past. One with renewed confidence, who are really taking the fight to QConfirm.
I have to wonder what the mentality is like for Invictus heading into this matchup. You know that you're versing a pretty formidable opponent. That said, I mean, their head-to-head has not been, particularly terrible against QConfirm in the past. So Invictus probably do have some confidence backing them. Stage 2 has easily been better than Stage 1 already so far. So good signs there. But again, they're looking to take that next big step. If they manage to then it really opens up the entirety of APAC South and could mark the resurgence of Invictus, who unfortunately over the last 6 months have not been in the greatest of positions. Stage 1 was quite poor for them. 6 Invitational as well, quite poor. They got sent home early. But now is an opportunity to redeem themselves. A lot of these players have a lot of experience. They've been around for a long time. They've been playing with one another for a really long time as well. So I have no doubt they have the ability to bounce back.
Yeah, well, you know what the most concerning thing here for me is about QConfirm, and I guess more to the point, the most impressive thing to me about Invictus is the fact that they already won 2 attacks on Cafe. And yeah, I'm not even going to touch the conversation of it being a defender-sided map. I'm going to go straight to the stats from the 6 Invitational. When Invictus Gaming did beat TSM FTX, it was a 7-5 for Invictus at the time, Giants. They won 5 defense rounds and 2 attacks. Invictus have already won as many attack rounds as they did against TSM FTX. So now, I think Invictus have the pressure off. I think it's highly likely they'll find 1, if not 2 more attack round wins. But when it comes to that defense, I think they will be incredibly strong.
Invictus on the roof. The line of sight through the popped hatch. They apply pressure on the red wall. As X-Car is detonated by Jordan. As his teammates are on hull. Everything looking pretty standard so far. Dark is likely going to be the player under the pump the quickest here. Playing inside of washrooms. Does have an Aruni gate fortifying its mirror position. But still quite risky and would be cleared if Invictus are willing to do so. But they are just playing so cautiously right now. This is the trend that we've seen so far in this matchup. They are not rushing anything. They're making sure that they know exactly what they're facing. They make sure they know exactly how they're going to clear it. And then they make sure that they get the timing down pat so they don't waste utility.
Bit of a change up for QC. They're not going for that mirror window at Cocktail facing to bar. I'm going to guess the second one is like at top white. At wait, where is that second mirror window? It's not top white. It's not.
He hasn't used it.
He's got it in his pocket. I actually quite like that. Does that mean the nade's going to come through anyway? I mean, you may as well Hibana open this wall. It denies that position. Or I reckon that... Okay, what? The plant's going down. There's not even any point in talking about anything else because Invictus have this down pat. 5v5 plant down. Here comes Producer Boom. He says hello, Hysterics. But that might be too little too late for QConfirm. Here comes the flank. 2 players on for it, but Speakeasy holds it down. This is such a difficult bomb site to retake now, and QConfirm have a lot of work ahead of them. 3 players to find, one of which is up on that skylight. Here comes Dark, though, for the disable. Luna can easily pre-fire the first one and take the second one down as well. Invictus, a 5v5 execute. Plant down. Perfect.
Well played there by Invictus. They seize on an opportunity. QConfirm caught off guard, not ready for that plant. And once it's stuck there on second floor, or third floor rather, underneath the skylight, behind the bar, unless you catastrophically and categorically absolutely throw the post plant and get caught with your pants down, and it ends up being somewhat like a 2v5 or a 1v5, and you don't have skylight control, then hey, you know, maybe the defense can retake. But 99 times out of 100, you're going to be able to hold on. Luna posted up on the skylight, played it absolutely perfectly. They applied enough pressure around the diffuser as well on that third floor in the post plant to hold on. Again, another textbook play by Invictus. They are playing clinically at the moment. This is the Invictus that we know and that we love and that we haven't seen for a while. So this is nice.
Definitely refreshing. And QConfirm certainly given a run for their money here as well. Now, they'll go back to Kitchen Cooking, which is the only bomb site they've won. But like I was alluding to last round, this is already looking very grim for the Thai roster here. Invictus have, at this point, done enough on their attack, and it's just a matter of time before we switch sides. Unless if things have changed so significantly and QConfirm storm out of the gates with some incredibly strong attacks. I may be wrong, but I just don't see that happening. I think Invictus have almost already won this match. One more round on the attack. I know, big call, but hey, I believe it. One more round on the attack, and I reckon this could easily be a 7-2.
Hey, big call, but hey, this is APAC South, so nothing is impossible. And it would not surprise me if the undefeated team ended up losing their first match 7-2 to Invictus. That would just, I mean, it would sound a little bit crazy, but it wouldn't take that long for it to sink in. A long way to go though here for Invictus, who haven't been flawless so far. Have managed to drop a round, so they haven't been completely and utterly dominating their opponents. QConfirm could find themselves back into this one quite swiftly. Oh, that's cheeky from Hysterics. The E1D does see that player scanned as he scutters down the red stairs. Hysterics gets hungry, will chase, but elects not to commit. He knows that his job is very important in this round. That hammer can be used to create some really gnarly line of sight down below and towards the objective.
Really going to be looking at Lycolis this round. He's been the opening death twice so far, yet to find a kill. But in APAC South as a whole, he's the MVP. 1.59 rating, head and shoulders above the rest. The next players are Worthy and Speakeasy tied at 1.3. Lycolis also has the highest KD and the highest cost. So he has just been on fire this stage so far, and looking at his effect this game so far has been negligible. So if he continues to kind of stay in his shell, definitely going to be even more concerned here for QC.
Replay C4 there from Producer Boom, and we saw earlier Healthcare has a black eye right above Sterix's position there on the sledge. See Lycolis is sitting at camera, giving out a ping, and that could be a very, very cheeky Nitro cell from down below. That said, no one on site has one still active. It was only that pre-placed. It doesn't hit the mark. Speakeasy does hit the mark. He hits it twice. Speakeasy is so, so dangerous. 7-1 so far.
Yeah, and the avalanche just continues to fall. Hysterics finds one. And Dark droned out on site. Surely this is just a matter of time before Invictus pull the trigger. A nade comes through very nice, displaces Dark and funnels him straight into Hysterics. Lycolis, I said you gotta do something, but you can't find a damn thing. And here we go, the Invictus train has left the station.
What a start for Invictus. 4-1. Been a mighty effort from them thus far, and it is starting to look ever more unlikely that they will trip up. It was only that first attack of Kitchen way back in round 1. Dark was able to pull off that flank, and that round was history. Since then, it has been all Invictus. without a doubt, every single round has been a convincing Invictus victory, which has got to be really difficult for QConfirm. This is where we get to see just how deep their mental game is, because they've been riding a high at the moment. They have won every game in regulation. They haven't really had to stress out too much. They've been chilling. They've been dubs on the board. They haven't had anyone really contest them all the way. Whereas now, they're already at a 4-1 deficit. They are going to be seriously tested in this matchup, and we get to see what QConfirm are made of.
Yeah, well, QConfirm definitely have a lot of work to be done here. Even a 2-4 half means that they'll need a very, very strong attack side. Now, I wouldn't put it past them, but I'm still... I'm not going to try and hedge my bets too much. I'm gonna commit to the 7-2 I said earlier for Invictus. We'll see. QConfirm really need to step up and step up right now. And they picked the exact same 5 operators that we saw them pick last round, but they need to have some more presence on this roam. Invictus are just getting this map control essentially for free, and Hysterics is doing so much with the vertical game. Not to mention Speakeasy, that 2K last round, I didn't quite see where he was pushing in from, but mate, he just finds openings wherever they are. I think he found a 2K in the first round as well, just from prep, pushing bakery side. So a lot of really good impact players here from Invictus, and they are using this line to control QC.
Jordan will use 4x cars to pop open.
He just doesn't
the
stop!
roof hatches. Speak easy, yeah, just doesn't. 8-1.
What the?
Ah, speak easy. Such a strong player. And I mean, Hysterics as well, going 6-2. One of the players that stepped up hugely for Invictus in stage 1, despite it being a disappointing result for them. Healthcare, he's under the pump. Who's going to take him down? There we go. Hysterics. Right on cue. 7-2 so far in this match. Again, Invictus have a 5-3 advantage. It could be 5-2. It is. Dark shutdown at every turn. Invictus are winning.
Let's try a refrag. Come on, what have you got like Colas Donuts so far? Surely you can find one. We need you to step up. MVP of stage 1 has been asleep. And now it's him with it all to do. He can find his first kill of the game, but the immediate refrag from Speakeasy. Who else? A 5-1 half for Invictus Gaming International.
Whew. What have we just witnessed? Wow. I mean, it's not often you get left speechless in Siege. I mean, it happens from time to time, but this is something else. Invictus have just absolutely come out of the gate swinging. 5-1 lead at the half.
On
and
the
I laughed,
unfavored
Dev,
side.
when you thought, yeah, I laughed at you. I thought 7-2 Invictus. Like, you've got to be kidding me. But now, honestly, it could be a 7-1. Like, we are just witnessing something crazy right now. The undefeated, top of the table team in QConfirm just having an absolute shocker. And Invictus are looking incredible. This looks like the Invictus of old.
Yeah, and QConfirm are certainly not looking like the team we've seen terrorize APAC South in stage 2 thus far. This is definitely a far cry from what we've seen of their performances in recent matches. Invictus are looking great. They're looking red hot. They look like they have that synergy, and I think that they're also quite an emotional team. I know that I've had a lot of complaints from teams when we say things like that, but I mean, the teams aren't going to know if they're emotional. They're never honest with themselves. In my experience, Invictus can be a bit of an emotional team, and that means that I think when they're in a position like this where they are dominating the opposition, they're just riding a high, mate. They are going to stay alive and keep thriving off that momentum all the way to the end of it. And look at this setup as well, guys. This is some OG stuff right here. The castle barricade between Cigar and Piano, but with the fortification of the Aruni Gate, you got the Ellis Shoddy with 2 ADS. I love this.
Yeah, this is super aggressive here from Invictus, trying to delay as much time as possible here. You confirm Jordan as well. Nitro Cell, as soon as this hatch gets popped, he's going to throw that through. In fact, he pre-places it. Doesn't find anything. And opens that hatch up very nicely there for Mykolas. But as I was saying, this setup over towards shop. Jordan and I believe it's Joe. looking to link together. It is, yeah, nice drain there behind the bar. So Jordan's position exposed, but he can fall back, leaving Joe all alone with that Ella shotgun in hand. His goal to try and stop these players from dropping Red Hatch, getting their way close towards the side, and honestly, he's likely to die from that position. It's pretty unlikely he'll be able to rotate out, but he's looking to find as many picks as possible and do as much damage as possible.
Either east side presence as well from QC. If they go for an east windows execute instead of trying to push Joe here, it could be the play. That said, with the changes to Jaeger and the my ban, I think it's totally feasible here that we could see QConfirm simply address all this util, burn through the ADSs, nade the shield. But they've got to do it flawlessly. They've got to do it right. And with Asterix here ready and waiting, he could punish. Joe finds the opening with the pistol, no less. He might be blind, but it might not matter. Hajime loses the fight as well. And QConfirm are left with nothing in a 1 versus 5 producer boom on the skylight. It just went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Oh, and speak easy. My God, does not even give his opposition the ability for a cheeky, I guess, tack timeout, like an improv tack timeout. Producer Boom could have taken a step back. You know, the team could have recuperated, discussed over things for the next minute. But no, Invictus just, they want this game over. They want this speedrun done. They want to, I don't know, go hit up ranked or something. They're just, they don't want to be here anymore. They're like, lads, we just want the 3 points and we're done. And they're doing just that. 6-1 is the scoreline. I can't believe I'm saying it, but Invictus are just absolutely decimating their opponents at the moment.
That's it. The Singaporeans have undoubtedly stepped it up. We talked a lot about that roster change. This was such a big move for Invictus, moving away from Ysera, who, alongside Luna, they have been a duo since before Siege was out. I think I saw him, Luna made a tweet. I think it was something like they've been playing esports together since like, what, 2014 or something, or 2012? I swear he said it was like nearly 10 years. Yeah, because they played other esports together before this. And breaking up that partnership was honestly heartbreaking. But, I mean, you can see, I think, that it was the right decision. Sometimes you need to turn a new leaf. We saw that when Canadian left Evil Geniuses. We're seeing that now with Joe coming in and Invictus leveraging the raw talent of these younger players. And honestly, they just look so perfect together. This is a team that just looks like a team.
Yeah. I do wonder if Invictus can really carry across the confidence they'll gain from this matchup into the rest of the stage, because QConfirm are literally undefeated at the moment. If Invictus can play like this in the remaining few weeks, who knows where they could end up. That is going to be a really exciting storyline to track, whether or not Invictus can correct their mistakes from stage 1 this year, which was incredibly disappointing. They know that. But they're also really hungry to try and bounce back, and that hunger is being translated here. They're digging deep, they're playing some really good Siege, being cold, they're being calculated, and doing their job well there. I mean, they're respecting their opponents as much as you possibly can with a scoreline like this, but also not afraid to play their game. And QConfirm have looked a little bit shell-shocked. They've been in their shell, just not really playing the brand of Siege that they have been so far in Stage 2. And maybe for them, this is a bit of a wake-up call.
Well, this is already confirmed. The first point QConfirm has not managed to get. The minimum, even if they manage to win 7 rounds in a row and win this game, they'll only get the 2 points. And up until now, they have been flawless, never even going to overtime. It looks like they're going to cop an L, and it's going to be a serious one. Speakeasy here on the flank. How many can he find? The double spray! Look at him go! He's taken them to the funeral! Invictus, our 3rd flawless round, puts QConfirm's streak to an end. What a performance!
Poor Invictus! What have you just done to QConfirm? I don't know if that's in the rulebook, man. 7-1. Speakeasy 14-1. Easy as that. What was that play at the end? I don't even know. I need to watch that back. What a performance. Invictus, they are back on the map.
My God, I have not ever seen a game of Siege like what we just witnessed. And Speak Easy as the star of the show, the front runner, and that flank up through Piano. What a beautiful 4K to lock in a third flawless round for Invictus. 3 flawless rounds across the map against the top team in the league. QConfirm well and truly knocked down a peg, and Invictus filled with confidence that they can go and be the Invictus of old, that they can potentially even maybe with a performance like that, if they keep it up, they might be a shoo-in for the #1 spot of APAC South, the direct invite to the Mexico Major. Sky is the limit. This is a new Invictus, and they are hungry for more.
Yeah, if we see Invictus play this brand of Siege for the rest of the stage, they are going to be really, really scary. Now, of course, we need to be balanced in our approach here. Maybe this was an off day for QConfirm. I mean, we can't look past that. QConfirm will be looking to bounce back next week, but at the same time, you know, we don't want to discount Invictus's efforts, right? 7-1 against the current top team in the league. I mean, how often do you see that internationally? I can't think of too many opportunities teams have had to take down the champs, or at least the provisional champs by that sort of margin. Absolutely crazy. There's nothing going the way of QConfirm, unfortunately. I mean, that flank at the very end, right? Habana was literally on the red hatch, and she was turning around to watch that flank. If she had have looked there about half a second earlier, that wouldn't have happened. But hey, I mean, sometimes things just don't go your way, and at the end of the day, Invictus played the better brand of Siege.
That's it, Speakeasy had the game of his life. I can't wait that we'll have a chat to Luna in just a moment and get his, no doubt, a little bit surprised reaction to that game. But until then, over to the desk.
What just happened? I'm so confused right now. That was...
Are you confused, Xenos?
I'm just so confused. 7-1. Speak Easy, 14-1. I mean, that was demolition. Raven, what happened here? What happened to QConfirm? What happened to the 3-0 plus 10 round differential? The team that was looking like the best team in APAC. They don't even have the best round differential anymore. That's now Invictus. What?
I know. It is very much like that. Look, haven't seen a one-sided match of Siege like that, especially when it comes down to the way this matchup was built, right? QConfirm outright on top of the standings of the stage, looking like they were going to really close in stage 2 to be theirs. And this was like a top versus mid-table battle of Invictus being the mid-table team. So you would have expected this in the reverse, right? Like if anybody was to stomp anybody based on expectations, it would have been QConfirm. But no, QConfirm just didn't really show up. And IG, well, they did in tremendous form. Honestly, incredible to watch that match.
That just looked like the caster stack in ranked. And the caster stack is QConfirmed. That's what that is. We're not, believe me when I say we're not Invictus. We are not Invictus. We are 100% QConfirm in that case. I mean, like,
Speak
did
for
they...
yourself, mate.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm QConfirm. You're a bit of Invictus. But to be fair, like, that is just absolutely outrageous. I mean, I honestly don't think I've seen a game of Siege that quick and that dominant. Like, from start to finish, there was not a single moment where I thought, oh yeah, QConfirm are back in this. No, not even for a second. That is the Invictus that we expected to see in stage 1, and now they're showing in stage 2. This is terrifying for teams anywhere in APAC South.
Very much terrifying for probably teams worldwide because Invictus Gaming are looking good. Let's go and have a chat with Luna off the back of that 7-1 shellacking. Firstly, just what was that like to even be part of that sort of game? Obviously, QConfirm have been very good this stage, but you guys just looked like the best we've seen you in months.
Yeah, I mean, if Speak Easy plays like that every game, then, you know, I can pretty much retire and they play every game 4v5. So let's hope this keeps up. Yeah, but in all seriousness, I think this is like the closest game that we've had that kind of resembles our practice scrims, because we usually have trouble performing during games itself. And we were trying something today, and I don't want to jinx it too much, and I hope this train just keeps going, man.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit, Luna. I think congrats, by the way. Incredible match to watch you guys play. I guess I'm going to put it
Thank
to you. Do you feel like this is now you guys? Like, is this a sustainable standard that you've set to be able to continue in Stage 2?
I hope it's sustainable, and to be frank and transparent, like any team who scrims us, you would know that this is how we play normally. Like this is us at 90% maybe, and in scrims are generally always around 90, but when it comes to game day, I don't know why, like whether it's mental barriers or whatnot, it tends to become like 40-50%. So yeah, I don't hopefully we have figured it out. I won't say for sure yet. Like for instance, today our pre-game ritual was literally me saying that, oh guys, you have a one map scrim tonight, so let's win this one and then call it a night early, that kind of thing.
This is a global circuit. You can't just do that, Glenn. I mean, look, you referenced it, but you did mention, you're having performance issues in Stage 1. You've alluded to somewhat of a change, but what has changed coming into Stage 2? Because on the surface, all that it looks like is a cheeky little sub coming. Well, not a sub, but the roster shuffle. That is on the surface all it seems to have really changed. So, like, without giving too much away, what has really been the determining factor since you've come into Stage 2?
Honestly, that 1 month we had at SI, actually it wasn't even a month, it was like 3 weeks of scrims. It really opened our eyes to a whole new world of Siege. And I think like the guys at Fnatic have always been telling me how much EU bootcamps have done for them. And it wasn't until now that we've actually realized that there's a big playstyle difference that you can bring in from overseas into APAC. And if you can assimilate that well into your playstyle, then your skill ceiling just suddenly goes a lot higher. So obviously with the roster change and the change in a bit of playstyle, it's going to take a while to get our gears running, but in the long term, it's going to be worth it, right?
Wait, if you guys are playing at 90%, if that's a 90% game, I maybe don't even want to see what 100% or maybe 110% looks like, because that is scary. Just your final shout-outs here, and then we can let you go, because I'm a little scared of you right now, Luna.
Thanks to all our fans, at the usual. Thanks for supporting us and sticking by us. I know we're not the easiest team to support, but hopefully you can keep cheering for us. And I just want to say one thing, like, there's been a lot of drama around the R6 community, especially on Twitter, and I hope that everyone can just chill out a bit, because I guess the one thing I have to say is that even I myself, I lack knowledge in a lot of areas, and it doesn't really help like calling people out on Twitter for having a lack of knowledge, because a lack of knowledge doesn't mean that you're stupid or anything. It's just people take time to learn, and especially people who play games. Everyone is young, everyone's learning, even myself. So just chill out, everyone.
I love you.
Wise words, Luna. Wise words. Thank you very much for coming on, having a chat.
Thank
and
you.
Look, if you keep playing like this, we'll see you on Thursday.
Yep, see you guys on Thursday, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Can he be my dad?
Thank you very much, Luna. He is.
This guy is literally like the most wholesome human being that also has an element of like, I will kill you if you cross me. Like there is a mix. It's like a big old teddy bear that has that bear nature behind him. I love Luna. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say.
It's good to see them fit and firing, and look, they're looking very good. Second place. Let's go and have a look at the results for tonight. Get a bit of a recap as to how everything unraveled. It all started off with the wonderful 8-7 Knights and Wildcard. Knights just squeaking over the line, Raven. It was an up and down sort of night, close, then not so close, then close, and then, well, not even remotely close at all.
Yeah, look, again, just another classic night in APAC South, right? Far out. It's so hard to follow all the ebbs and flows of this league. It really is. It's just crazy. It's so exciting, though. I mean, like, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's incredible to witness. And that last game in particular was just, I don't know, it's blown my mind. I mean, it felt like it was going to be clear coming through the end of tonight that, QConfirm is probably still going to be on top. And I mean, they are, but clearly, right? And it's just not that clear anymore. Like, it almost feels like, who knows, come Thursday, maybe rest of stage, maybe QConfirm don't win a game like for the rest of the stage. It could totally happen.
Well, that's the beauty of APAC South, is the fact that you just don't know. You honestly, on any given day, you honestly cannot predict it. The flip of the head, the flip of the coin, it seriously does just leave so much into the realm of imagination. I think tonight is a good example of that. That first matchup, Wildcard Nights, if you had said that it was going to be that close coming into the season, I think many people would have told you you're barking mad. However, look at that. It was an unbelievably close result. All the way down, I would even say the Chiefs Order game was close, even though Order had put on a bit of a clinic. They were looking really strong. That Elevate 7th Heaven game, I think 7th Heaven are unlucky not to have forced that to a 15th round, but that's the power of the Monty. You cannot, you honestly cannot give it too much respect, because that's what it does. And I mean, just again, reiterating, what on God's green earth is that from Invictus? Disgusting to just, I mean, we can say it, just spank QConfirm, because that's what it was. It was a spanking.
Yeah, it certainly was. Just sort of going back to what you said at the beginning of your little ramble there, Manic, was about you can't predict it. Well, I certainly can predict it, because I went 3-1 tonight. Let's go and have a look at the caster predictions, and as it stands, 9-7. The only one who is positive. Everyone else is in the bin. Dev and Manic kind of close, 7-9. We'll give them a little wrap. What's going on with Guz, guys? I mean, I'll go to you first on this one, Raven, because he is, of course, the quote reigning something, reigning champion. I don't know, the reigning poo face. He's just not doing good this stage.
Yeah, no, look, I think it was just a matter of time before Guz started his downfall. Certainly hasn't been that sharp with his predictions lately, but like, I'm one to talk, really, so I don't know why you threw to me.
Oh, you can throw to him, and I'll throw Raven under the bus. I mean, you literally couldn't do this if you tried. You honestly could not be this piss poor if you tried, Raven. This is horrific from you. 3-13. Mate, even if that was golf, people would still be saying that's not hard. Like, it's just not good enough from you, mate. It is absolutely atrocious.
I'll quickly defend myself here. We were going through this just like during the last game. It's not like my predictions were that radical. Like, we rationalized most of them. It wasn't that bad. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I would describe as APAC South, and you could say, if you're just looking at all our scores, like, we have such a variance. It does really portray how tricky it is to try and predict this. Like, it's so crazy.
And I would say as well, the fact that Xenox is out on top probably speaks the most to how hard this league is to predict.
You didn't have that? That's the Manic train coming straight on through. Let's move forward for the night, though, as we're getting towards the tail end of the broadcast. We are going to look at the standings, which look very, very close, and pretty much, as we sort of have already alluded to, speaks to the nature of APAC South and how close this little group of 8 teams are, because QConfirm, well, they started tonight on 9 points. Raven, they remain on 9 points, and everyone else has caught up a bit.
Yeah, with the Invictus Gaming victory just now, it really has flattened it out a bit, right? Like, if we were looking at this as if QConfirm had just won, they'd be out on 12. You'd see IG back down there on 5 points. Like, it would be a lot more spread out. But now it's kept it very flat. And, those top 5 positions, it's just one victory that separates 5th and 1st. So it's very close.
Order could win and get into 2nd.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing, is like, all the way up until, sorry Chiefs, but up until Chiefs, like, all these teams are literally one win away from playoffs. It's pretty crazy that it is still this close, and we got 2 play days to go before we're talking about playoffs. It's so tight.
Yeah, you took my bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna just dump all over the Chiefs and what's happened for them at the start of this season, but like, also the insane thing that you look at when we kind of look at the standings there is the fact that the pass mark for last season was 11 points to get into playoffs. It was actually 10 points to get into playoffs, but the lowest was 11. Chiefs can still make that. If they win the next 3 games, they can still meet the pass mark. Now, I think I don't know how the math would work so that it would not be 11 points, but I feel like it's almost pretty certain that 11 points and up is where that's going to kind of split down the middle. Look, as much as we're taking the mick out of the Chiefs, they could still do it. There's absolutely no doubting. Sure. And the fact that everything stayed in touch, first points, that all-elusive first place, which of course we're talking about, is so important. That is up for grabs for anyone. Bar Chiefs.
Certainly is. It's been a great night tonight again here for APAC South. It's been so much fun, easy to predict as usual. That's all I'm going to say there. We will be back again in 2 days, by the way. This is a bit of a super week for us. So Playday 5, not too far away. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you then.